If you're looking to play more coverage, bend but don't break style, the Dime 2-3 Sam out of the Minnesota playbook is for you. It's a very, very good defense, and it's very similar to Dollar and 146, but it just gives a little bit of a different blitzing concept. So, what you want to do with your personnel here is you just want to make sure that your best pass rushers are in the game. Specifically, your best one be a defensive tackle. Like, you just want to make sure your best pass rushers are on the field. And then you want to make sure that at these safety positions that you have good change of direction safeties at that position. You do not want linebackers in that spot because they're not going to loop as well. Okay. From a coaching and adjustment perspective, you want to have your auto flip defensive play call off, your defensive motion response on disabled, your option read key on conservative, option pitch key on aggressive, RPO read key and RPO pass key both are going to be on conservative. And then at the bottom here, you're going to want your safeties on close and pinch. That is actually really important when talking about this defense. If you don't put them on close and pinch, the safeties line up super, super far back, in my opinion. Okay. So as far as the main defense that we're going to be using for this, the main one that we're going to be adjusting out of is this play here, strong safety zone blitz. Strong safety zone blitz is the play that you want to be calling here, and we're going to show you how to run it. So the best way to run this defense, and do not expect this blitz to come in every single time. It is actually a very inconsistent blitz. The main reason you're doing this is because you're trying to put your opponent on a timer with this defense, and it gives you incredible coverage. You have a symmetrical formation, you have slot corners all over the field. There's so many ways to adjust out behind this, and you can literally just go crazy with your adjustments, which switch stick. This is a very switch stick optimized defense, okay? So what we're gonna do as far as how we're gonna actually run it is we're gonna put this safety on the right-hand side here. We're gonna put him into a hook curl. We're then going to shade our coverage underneath, and we're gonna slant our defensive line here to the right. This is kind of the base coverage shell that you would use out of this. What I will typically do is kind of hover in this general area of the field. And a lot of times what you'll see is at the snap of the ball, this guy can loop right over the middle just like that. I believe that this is the best A-gap loop in the entire game. I actually believe it's a little bit better than Dollar specifically. For whatever reason, the alignment of this formation, I just find that this blitz, it just comes in more. I don't know why. It just comes in more consistently, in my opinion. There you see it's trying to come in again. Basically, here's what I want you to know. If you get that looper to get 2-3 yards deep into the line of scrimmage, the other thing that this helps with is this is pretty good for scrambling quarterbacks, things like that. It just does a decent job, as you see. I mean, this thing's actually pretty darn good. Now I'm going to show you the pass protection that I've been using here. I've been using the base pass protection, which is the main pass protection you would see against something like this. Now, if your opponent wants to go to empty, then I'll show that as well here. And what you'll see is empty pass protection. You see that D tackle has a little bit better of a chance to be able to basically glitch through the middle. So this is honestly a very simple send four. What I'll even do at times here is I'll actually just hook curl this guy and I will just send three. This is more for, long yardage situations, relying on these sheds. The biggest thing is if you're an ultimate team or franchise mode, the abilities you want to put on the defensive line is you want to have at least 3 double or nothings on the defensive line. And then I would suggest probably 3 double or nothings and then you could one of a couple different ones that you could pair with it. You could use 3 double or nothings and 3 instant rebates, 3 double or nothings and 3 buy one get ones. Those are two things that we've kind of seen that appear to help with sheds this year, at least where the game's at right now. So anyway, this is just one of my favorite. If I ever want to go to something that's like just very bend but don't break style, this one right here is what I ultimately go to. Now, what you can also do here is you could use strong safety zone blitz in a little bit of a different way. So the different way that you could use this defense is you could individually move this guy over here like this. Now, the reason you might want to do this is kind of a slight difference, right, in how the defense is going to work. And the guy normally will still loop for whatever reason he didn't right there. But normally he will still loop. Let me see if I can actually get him to do that properly. And I'll show you why this is a good little mix-in. So the reason why this is a good little mix-in is because this kind of opens the door for different types of pressure and it's just not working like I want it to, but that's okay. I'll show you the B gap pressure variation of this though. So situationally, what we could do is we could actually just blitz this guy and walk him over like this, put this safety in the middle third, put this guy in a hook or whatever we want to do, and then we can hook for our user. But what happens here is you kind of get the same thing, but now it's a B gap loop. So it's just a little bit different. As you can see, just a little bit different. The pass protection will be different. Depends on obviously what they're doing to try to block it. But if you ever wanted to just mix something up, and you can do this out of literally any play, like you just walk this guy over just like this, blitz him, and then you're just going to hover down here. And that can just slightly change the blocking a little bit. It's a B gap loop as opposed to an A gap loop. There's pros and cons to each. Obviously, our core loop being this A gap loop right here. But ultimately, you know, you can kind of do for what you want. But in general, you know, as you see, if I hover over there with my user, I feel like that A gap loop definitely makes it a little bit worse. So just fun fact there. But what you can also do is this right here. And I just think this is the best. I just think this is by far and away like a really, really good A gap loop. Even if the center does pick him up right there, like it does a great job of just putting the offense on a timer, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. Defensively, just get enough pressure and then play really, really good coverage behind it. And we're also in a defense that does not lend itself to giving up the big play. More than likely, you're gonna play bend but don't break with this, and a lot of times, you know, you're just gonna have a lot of success. I just think this is one of the best ways to play defense in the game right now. In a game where there's not like a clear top level blitz, especially if they're willing to block their running back, right? There's just not a great top level blitz. This is something that I think, you know, makes a lot of sense because of how good it is for your switch stick. You can obviously switch stick onto basically everything on the field.